What is this thing that came with an antique German glass boiling flask? There are no markings on it, and the silver plate interior is lined with a felt-like material. The flask is 26 centimeters high. The diameter is approximately 15 centimeters, and maybe 1.5 to 2 liters. The shell is approximately 28 centimeters high, and its diameter is around 20 centimeters. Any ideas? This is an antique tea or coffee thermos from the first half of the 20th century. You put your hot tea or coffee in there. Then when you take it somewhere in your drafty old-timey house, it gets cold marginally slower than if it were in an uninsulated container. I have a relative that lives in a drafty old-timey house that collects old-timey crap. The one he has looks identical to this. What is this metal object that looks like it could attach to a table to hold things? Possibly a purse or an umbrella. The ring is 3 inches in diameter. The handle is 2.5 inches long and 2 inches on the hooks. I found it in a 90-year-old New England relative's silverware collection. The collection consists of a lot of random things from the early 1900s. There's no writing or numbers and nothing moves. I'm not sure of the metal, and I attempted to search Google for things like vintage purse holders and umbrella holders, with no luck. Any ideas? It's the metal hanger of the Fleur de Lis chip and dip set from circa 1960s. It came with a large chip bowl and a small dip bowl. The dip bowl sits inside the ring, and the hooks hold onto the edge of the serving bowl, so it hangs over the large bowl. I received mine from my great-grandmother. What is this very heavy metal object found in a garden in the Netherlands, buried a bit under the earth and old leaves? The top part that I'm holding is the only moving part that can freely spin 360 degrees. All parts that look movable are rusted shut. It's about 50 centimeters or 20 inches tall. The garden previously contained a pond, maybe part of a pump. We also found some old car parts, maybe part of an axle of some sort. I don't have any knowledge about both those possible objects, so I can't say for certain. Those are the objects I searched for but couldn't find anything. So what is this thing? That's an old ceiling support from a coal mine. This was in the Titan style and was introduced in 1948, just after the Second World War. It was used in all the state mines and quickly became the standard. It's one of the last variants before hydraulic supports were used. Those also quickly became obsolete with the closure of all mines in the Netherlands in the 60s. This particular support apparently was very loved by the miners, and thus was often given as a gift or token of thanks to the workers. For example, with their pension or leaving the company. So most likely the house was owned by a former miner. What is this metal concave disc attached to a wooden handle found in an old farmhouse? This has been sitting on the windowsill of an old farmhouse that I visit frequently. I have no idea what it is, and neither do the occupants. Any information about it would be much appreciated. It's a hog scraper from the early 1900s, the easiest way to remove hair from hide when butchering hogs. Before scraping the hair off, the butcher could either soak the carcass in warm water or singe the hair with fire before scraping to make the process more efficient. What is this metal hanging board with a cylindrical attachment, a grinder, and a shaft? I found this on an online auction here in Poland, and the seller has no idea of the item. Google image search points to grenades, but they're very different from this one. I guess maybe a wall-hanged grenade you'd attach a string to. The board itself is 14 centimeters high, and there are words that say DRGM, Patent, Austria, and Jess Gesh. I did not buy it, but I'm curious. Any ideas? It's a German wall lighter from circa 1910, a permanent match lighter for a stove. The canister contains liquid fuel, and if you pull up the shaft, it has a wick and flint on the end, and a striker on the front of the canister. What is this weird spinny wooden stick? About 20 inches long, and the middle part spins back and forth in the channels. I found it in an antique mall in Central Oregon. The lady didn't know what it was, but it's really fun to spin the thing back and forth, so I got it, and now I'm wondering what it is. There's no writing on it or maker's marks, no real identifiable things. It looks like it mounts on something on one or both ends. Google was not very helpful, and I'm not sure what to say besides spinning wooden stick or twisty wood toy. Any help is appreciated. It's a 19th century wooden Archimedes drill, also known as a fretwork drill. It's an old type of drill that works on the Archimedean principle. The drill rotates quickly as the barrel on the stem is worked up and down. A bit of some kind goes in the square hole, and a handle goes on the finished end and spins freely. What is this large metal shackle thing found in dry riverbed in the New Hampshire backcountry? Size 10 shoe for a scale, made of steel and very rusted. We were backpacking in the White Mountain Range in New Hampshire and found it sticking out of the dry riverbed. Nothing in the area was man-made, and the riverbed was heavily washed out. Maybe part of an old bridge or something. Any ideas? It's part of a tongue for a wagon or cart, attached to the end, and the bolts went through the wood. The hole on the end probably used a bolt or pin. It was likely made by a smithy in that county many, many moons ago. What is this large dark brown oblong metal object attached to the wall? It has two smaller and lighter pieces on each end, and it doesn't appear to do anything currently. No marks or writing that I could see, and it appeared to be about a foot long. This was found in the basement of a house built in the 1910s. It appears that the lighter metal pieces might have originally done something or possibly been replaced at some point, based solely on the construction and color difference. I tried doing a reverse image search via Google Lens, and everything that came up was a torch or candle holder, but that seemed to stem from it being metal and attached to a wall. Any idea what this is made for? It's the 1920s wall-mounted gray bar stimulator, a piece of antique fitness equipment. It basically shakes you by using a thick canvas band attached to offset a huge cammed-up electric motor. You were supposed to strap the belt around you and switch on the machine. The thought was that it was moving your muscles and stimulating or dissolving fats. Of course, we now know this didn't really do anything. What is this brass cylinder with a half Pringle-shaped extension on one end and a flat closed-off side on the other? The metal handle can pivot on the side, and there's one small section on the side wall that looks like it could hold paper. I found it in an antique shop in upstate New York. It's about 9 inches long and 3 inches in diameter. The metal appears to be brass, with copper bands around both ends of the cylinder, clasping it in place. I have searched for brass and metal cylinders, light holders, and candle holders, to no avail. Any ideas? Please let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.